In Britain's used car market, bargains are everywhere. At least, that's how it looks. Scroll through Auto Trader and you'll see family hatchbacks and old saloons going for under £2,000, tempting buyers with the promise of cheap motoring. But there's a catch. Some of these cars hide faults so expensive to repair that when they break, the bill is actually higher than the value of the car itself. For mechanics, they're the cars that keep workshops busy. For owners, they're the ones that turn a bargain into a financial nightmare. Today we're counting down 8 cars in the UK that can cost more to fix than to buy outright. Starting with a French hatchback that looks stylish on the outside, but has left countless drivers stunned by bills that make no sense on paper. Why does this happen in Britain specifically? Our used car market is flooded with high-mileage ex-fleet cars and neglected bargains. Short urban journeys kill diesels. DIY servicing skips critical intervals. And when something major breaks on a £2,000 car, most owners simply walk away rather than fix it properly. Number 8. Peugeot 308. On the used market, the Peugeot 308 THP looks like the deal of the decade. Sleek design, plush interiors, and prices that sit comfortably below the Focus or Golf. It's the sort of car that makes buyers think they've hacked the system. But ask any independent garage in Britain, and you'll hear the same story. This engine is a walking invoice. The 1.6 THP, co-developed with BMW, was meant to combine performance and efficiency. Instead, it combined every mechanical weakness known to man. The timing chain is the worst offender. A thin, overstressed unit that stretches long before it should. Early signs include a faint metallic rattle on cold starts, which many owners ignore. A few months later, the rattle turns into a full-blown death rattle, and that's the moment your wallet starts crying. A new chain kit, tensioner and labour, around £1,600 to £1,800. If the guides have shattered, add another few hundred. But it doesn't stop there. The valve stem seals leak, sending oil into the combustion chamber, while gaskets and sensors fail like clockwork. It's common for garages to discover multiple issues during a single repair, pushing the total well beyond £2,000, more than the car's resale value. Even owners who try to sell them with a slight rattle find no buyers. The engine's reputation precedes it. One London mechanic summed it up perfectly. Every 1.6 THP we touch is either leaking, rattling, or both. The problem is so notorious that many workshops now warn customers before even opening the bonnet. For families chasing a bargain, the 308 THP feels like an upgrade, until the chain slips and the repair quote lands. That's when most realise the cruel truth of cheap French motoring. Sometimes, the real price is what comes after the purchase. Number 7. BMW 1 Series. The BMW 1 Series is Britain's best-selling affordable prestige car. Rear-wheel drive, premium badge, and sharp German handling in a hatchback body. On the used market, early petrol models like the 116i and 118i with the N43 engine tempt buyers who want the BMW badge without the £30,000 price tag. But those same cars are also responsible for some of the most painful repair bills ever to come out of Bavaria. The N43 looks clever on paper. Direct injection, variable valve timing, great fuel economy. In practice, it's a money pit. The high-pressure fuel injectors are notorious for failing one after another, each costing £250 to £300 plus fitting. You'll rarely get away with changing just one, and full sets can total £1,200 to £1,500. Add to that timing chain rattle, another N43 hallmark, and you're staring at a potential £2,000 plus bill before you've even had a chance to enjoy the car. Ignore the chain noise for too long and it'll snap, bending valves and instantly writing the engine off. Even if the chain holds, you're not safe. The coil packs fail constantly, oxygen sensors burn out, and those dreaded check engine lights turn up like clockwork. Many garages now recognise the sound of a misfiring N43 from the car park. And while the newer N45 and N46 engines had their flaws, none match the N43 for sheer financial cruelty. Here's the irony. These cars still feel fantastic to drive. They handle beautifully, and when running right, They're everything a small BMW should be. But that bliss doesn't last long. In the classifieds, they sit around £1,800 to £2,200, which sounds great, until one major job costs the same or more. One owner put it best: "I bought a £2,000 BMW and got a £4,000 education." For anyone chasing a prestige badge on a budget, the N43 powered 1 Series proves that sometimes it's cheaper to admire a BMW than to actually own one. Number 6. Mini Cooper S. The Mini Cooper S is one of Britain's coolest small cars. Playful, stylish, and packed with personality. For years, it's been the go-to choice for anyone wanting hot hatch thrills with a touch of retro charm. But under that cheeky bonnet hides one of the most problematic engines ever fitted to a modern car. The 1.6-litre Prince engine, built in partnership between BMW and Peugeot. And for many UK owners, it's turned from fun to drive into expensive to keep alive. Mechanics can diagnose a sick Prince engine from across the workshop. It starts with the dreaded cold start rattle, that dry metallic chatter lasting a few seconds before settling down. It's not harmless noise, it's the timing chain. Tensioner failing, allowing the chain to slap against the guides. Leave it, and the chain stretches, jumps teeth, and destroys the valves in one horrifying instant. Even caught early, a proper fix with new guides, tensioner, and chain costs £1,200 to £1,600. Then comes the turbo, mounted awkwardly behind the engine, cooking itself over time. Oil feed pipes clog, seals leak, and power drops until it finally gives up. That's another £800 to £1,200, or double if you replace the catalytic converter at the same time. Add a water pump that's good for maybe 40,000 miles and carbon build-up that needs walnut blasting every few years, and you're staring at £2,500 to £3,000 in repairs on a car worth £2,000 to £3,500. Ask any mechanic and they'll tell you, every Cooper S we see comes in smiling and leaves crying. It's a car that promises joy but delivers invoices. Many owners, faced with that combination of timing chain and turbo failure, simply walk away, selling the car as spares or repair because fixing it costs more than it's worth. The Cooper S remains a British icon, but it's also a brutal lesson in modern engineering. Underneath the charm and Union Jack mirrors lies an engine that's kept more workshops in business than any other hot hatch in the country. Number 5. Vauxhall Zafira. The Vauxhall Zafira was once the backbone of British family life. 7 seats, endless practicality, and prices that made it the go-to MPV for parents who needed space on a budget. It promised sensible motoring, school runs, supermarket trips, summer holidays. But under the bonnet, the 1.7 DTI engine turned those dreams into one of the most expensive nightmares on the used market. This engine, shared with several Opel and Saab models, was never designed for the kind of short, stop-start journeys most families do. Its diesel particulate filter, DPF, clogs relentlessly when the car doesn't get long. Motorway runs to burn off soot. Once that filter blocks, the warning light appears, the engine drops into limp mode, and the panic begins. Cleaning rarely helps. Most need replacing entirely, a job that costs £900 to £1,200. Then comes the EGR valve, another repeat offender. Carbon builds up inside until it sticks open, killing performance and coating the intake in oily sludge. Add a failing swirl flap system or leaking intercooler pipe, and you've got another £400 to £600 gone. By this point, the car barely drives, and that's before mentioning the gearboxes, which develop bearing noise and often need full rebuilds costing over £1,000. The maths doesn't work. In 2025, a tidy Zafira 1.7 DTI might fetch £1,500 to £1,800, but one round of DPF, EGR, and gearbox repairs can double that. Thousands of families have been forced to make the same painful call: fix it for more than it's worth, or scrap it and start over. It's tragic, because the Zafira's design is brilliant. Flexible seating, decent comfort, and solid practicality. But the 1.7 diesel's fragile emissions system has destroyed its reputation. What was meant to be an affordable people carrier ended up carrying people straight to the scrapyard. Number 4. Renault Laguna. The Renault Laguna 3 was meant to be a comeback story. Renault's shot at redemption after years of reliability jokes. It looked the part. Sharp design, premium interiors, and marketing that promised German quality, French flair. On paper, it was the smart alternative to a Mondeo or Passat. But in workshops across Britain, the Laguna quickly earned a different reputation. Not as a driver's car, but as a wallet destroyer. The 2.0 DCI engine, fitted to most diesel models, is the main culprit. It's smooth when new, but as mileage creeps past 80,000, the turbochargers start failing without warning. One day it's fine, the next it's billowing smoke and guzzling oil. A new turbo costs around £1,000 to £1,300, and that's before labour or the mandatory oil system flush. Ignore it, and the replacement will fail too. Then there's the electronics, a true French masterpiece of frustration. The keyless entry cards lose signal, dashboards throw random faults, and the central locking develops a mind of its own. Many garages refuse to quote fixed prices because tracing wiring faults can take hours of paid diagnostics, sometimes £500 before a single part is replaced. Add to that injector failures, dual-mass flywheels that rattle themselves to death, and DPF systems that choke in city traffic, and the total bill can rocket to £2,500 to £3,000. The cruel twist: many Lagunas on the road today are worth barely £1,500. That's why scrapyards across the UK are full of tidy Lagunas with immaculate paintwork and dead engines. Even Renault's attempt to fix its image backfired. The brand improved safety, comfort, and efficiency, but stuffed the car with electronics that didn't age well in Britain's damp climate. As one Midlands mechanic joked, Lagunas don't die, their owners just give up. For a car that was supposed to restore confidence in French luxury, it ended up proving one thing: dial can't save you from the laws of economics. Number 3. Citroën C4 Grand Picasso. On paper, the Citroën C4 Grand Picasso looks like the ultimate family car. 7 seats, a panoramic windscreen, clever folding seats, and that light, airy feel every parent dreams of. For years, it's been the go-to MPV for British families who want space without the SUV tax. But beneath the family-friendly design sits a mechanical nightmare that sent countless owners and their wallets over the edge. The problem lies with the 1.6 HDI engine shared with Peugeots, Fords, and Minis. It's efficient, yes, but fatally flawed. The turbo oil feed pipe, which is supposed to keep the turbo lubricated, gets blocked with carbon deposits from old oil. When that happens, the turbo starves of lubrication and seizes, often suddenly and usually before 80,000 miles. One replacement turbo costs £1,200 to £1,500, but it's rarely that simple. The debris from the failure contaminates the entire oil system, meaning you need a new filter, sump clean, and feed pipe too. Skip that, and the new turbo will fail again within months. Add the DPF filter into the mix, and things get worse. These clog easily with soot on short school runs, triggering limp mode and warning lights. Cleaning rarely helps for long. Full replacement can cost £1,000 to £1,200, and if the EGR valve's also sticking, that's another £400 gone. Suddenly, you're facing a £2,500 plus bill on a car worth £2,000 at best. Then come the little things: air suspension leaks, dodgy electrics, and infotainment systems that reboot mid-drive. For a family already paying for fuel, insurance, and everyday life, a repair like that can be the final straw. As one mechanic in Manchester put it, the Grand Picasso isn't a car, it's a life lesson. It promised practicality and low running costs, but instead became the MPV that costs more to fix than to buy. For many UK families, it's the car that taught them the hard way that affordable and reliable aren't always the same thing. Number 2. Volkswagen Passat. For decades, the Volkswagen Passat was the sensible Brit saloon. Solid build, great motorway manners, and a reputation for going the distance. The sort of car you could buy used, service on time, and trust for years. But the EA189 diesel scandal, better known as Dieselgate, didn't just damage Volkswagen's image. It exposed just how fragile these engines can be in real-world British driving. The 2.0 TDI is infamous among mechanics for its EGR cooler failures. The thin metal walls crack, allowing coolant to leak into the exhaust, causing white smoke, overheating, and a sour chemical smell from the tailpipe. A new EGR cooler and valve set costs £800 to £1,000, and replacing it involves hours of labour to strip half the engine bay. Then there are the injectors, another EA189 weak point. When they go, misfires and rough idling follow, and each one costs £300 to £400 to replace. It's rare to need just one, and a full set can easily hit £1,500. The DPF system adds the final insult. Designed for long motorway drives, it quickly chokes up on short commutes, exactly how most British Passats are used. A blocked filter forces the engine into limp mode, and a new one costs £1,000 to £1,200 fitted. Combine EGR, injectors, and DPF failures, and you're staring at a £2,500+ repair on a car worth £1,800 in the classifieds. Mechanics see the same pattern weekly. An owner brings in a trusty Passat that's just started smoking, expecting a £200 fix, and walks out with a quote higher than the car's value. Many can't justify it, so they sell for scrap or spares and repairs. The irony? The Passat was supposed to be bulletproof, the ultimate safe buy. Instead, it's become the classic example of how modern diesel complexity can bankrupt the very buyers who chose it for reliability. As one garage in Birmingham put it, the Passat's still solid until it isn't. What was once the ultimate commuter car has become a costly reminder that even sensible cars can turn stupidly expensive. Number 1. Jaguar S-Type. The Jaguar S-Type once symbolized affordable British luxury, a refined saloon with classic styling, soft leather seats, and that unmistakable growl of a V6 diesel under the bonnet. It promised sophistication without the German price tag. But beneath the polished walnut veneer lies one of the most expensive mechanical traps in Britain's used car market. At the heart of it all is the 2.7-litre twin-turbo diesel, co-developed with Peugeot and Ford. When new, it was smooth and powerful. But after 100,000 miles, the honeymoon ends. The ZF automatic gearbox, the same type used in BMWs and Range Rovers, develops torque converter slip and pressure loss. When it fails, it's not a quick fix. A rebuild costs £2,500 to £3,000, and sourcing a decent used unit is nearly impossible. Many garages won't even attempt it, recommending a full replacement instead. Then there's the twin-turbo setup, a masterpiece when working, but a disaster waiting to happen. The front turbo usually goes first, followed by the rear, and replacing both can easily exceed £4,000. Add EGR valve blockages, injector issues, and fragile wiring looms that corrode in Britain's damp climate, and you've got a car that can bankrupt you one invoice at a time. Even minor jobs, like replacing the starter motor or alternator, are nightmares of labour hours because of the cramped V6 layout. Plenty of owners fall for the charm, a £2,000 Jaguar that looks and feels like £20,000. But when the bills hit, £3,500 for a gearbox, £4,000 for turbos, £500 for EGRS, the maths stops making sense. Most give up, scrapping otherwise immaculate cars because the repair cost doubles their value. As one Jaguar specialist in Kent put it, every S-Type 2.7D owner has one good year and one very bad one. It's the perfect example of prestige turned poison. For a moment, you feel like royalty gliding down the motorway until the gearbox lurches, the dash lights up, and the dream dissolves into another £4,000 reality check. And there you have it. 8 cars in Britain that look cheap on Auto Trader, but can empty your wallet faster than you ever imagined. From the Peugeot 308's fragile timing chain, to BMW's troublesome N43 engines, to family haulers like the Zafira and Grand Picasso that eat through turbos and DPFs. Every one of these models has the same cruel twist. The repair bill often outstrips the value of the car itself. Even the supposedly safe bets, like the Passat, or the once prestigious Jaguar S-Type, have left countless owners facing the painful decision of whether to scrap or spend more than the car is worth. The lesson is simple. In Britain's used car market, a low asking price doesn't always mean a bargain. In fact, it can be the biggest red flag of all. Mechanics see these patterns every day, and while they keep garages busy, it's drivers who foot the bill. So, what about you? Have you ever owned a car that cost more to fix than to buy? Was it one of these 8? Or did you have your own horror story? Share it in the comments, because your experience might save another driver thousands. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell. In our next episode, we'll flip the script and reveal the cars in Britain that actually make you money, holding value so well that owning them feels like a win from day one.